Okay, I think now is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, let me see.
Is it going? It looks the same.
I know.
Oh no, it's people up there now.
Okay, good afternoon.
Hey everybody.
We're waiting for people to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there go one person. Two.
So
Okay,
yeah.
good afternoon. We just
Hey.
waiting for people to join.
How y'all doing?
Black Power, Gazi.
Black Power.
We just gonna let people tune in. As you know, myself, Sarah, and Tony Taylor behind me, the mother of Kerry Ball Jr., who was killed by the police April 24, 2013, shot 21 times after surrendering with his hands in the air. We normally don't go live, but we're going live together
Yes.
to speak on why we no longer are with the Uhuru Movement and what's going on here in St. Louis. We feel that we're not going to lead our people into a burning building, and we need to speak on what we know
Right.
and how certain things left us feeling. And you guys, Black Power, I see you, man child, Roosevelt alumni.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're just gonna wait one more minute for people to get on, because like I said, we never go live, so that lets you know how important this was for us to get this message out to the people here in St. Louis on the ground, definitely.
Right.
So just give it about one more minute. If you could share this and tag people in it. I've been banned from tagging, so I can't tag anyone. And I'm learning how to invite people, so that's what I'm trying to do now, but it's not letting me. So I appreciate the people who are tuning in.
Thank you.
So give it about one more minute. Okay, it went up a little bit more. Just trying to get some more viewers. So this word can be spread across St. Louis on why we're no longer with the Uhuru Movement. As you know, we both came into the Uhuru Movement during the time after Kerry?
It was after Kerry.
After Kerry, so we're talking about 2014. And we were introduced to the Uhuru Movement, and from the beginning we were embraced.
Yes.
We're not here, let me say this, we're not here to bash anyone, and we're not here to slander anyone. We're just here to speak our truth and what we witnessed and how we're going to share it with other people, especially here in St. Louis.
Right.
So that definitely is our message. And I want you all to know that this has been painful for Tony and I. We put a lot of time, effort, sweat, tears, finance into the Uhuru Movement, and I am was a part of IMPEDM, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. And Tony,
I was a part of Black is Back, which was the part that was helping with black community control of the police. That was a coalition. I was never a part of a party.
And I was also involved with Agitprop, which is social media. Once again, neither one of us were ever party members of the African People's Socialist Party. We were never party members, but we were comrades of the Uhuru Movement.
Exactly.
So please let that be understood.
Right.
So if you want to go ahead and just share a little bit, if you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to speak on the reason why I decided to leave the Uhuru Movement. Well, Black is Back Coalition, period.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but she left before me, and we had several conversations about why she left and how I felt, because I was still with the Uhuru Movement, and it did cause a strain on our relationship that we have, but we never stopped communicating. We never stopped standing in solidarity with each other, and we definitely didn't air it on Facebook, because that's not what we're about.
Right.
And also, we're a reflection of Carry on the Ball Foundation as well.
Exactly.
So we kept it grown, as people say. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out there, but go ahead.
Well,
and appreciate all the people tuning in.
Yes, thank you. In 2016, November 2016, there was a conference in Washington, D.C. where we had a march on the White House. Well, it was something about that march that didn't sit well with me, so I started doing a little investigation after I got home. I felt funny there in Washington, D.C., but when I got home, I spoke out to Sarah and my other family and everybody, but nobody was really trying to understand what I was saying. They want to say I'm too emotional. You over-exaggerating. No, that's not how it is. Nope, they good, this and that. But okay, I was telling everybody, I'm leaving. They was like getting upset, Sarah in particular. She was very upset that I was leaving, but I told Sarah it was someone right. I also told Sarah that they was trying to break us apart. I said, Sarah,
she did say that. Yes, she did.
I told Sarah that. Now we have inside information that they was trying to break us apart. That is very true. People have just confirmed everything that me and Sarah was having conflict about.
Yes, and that's true. And also, I want to speak on the main reason why I am not with the Uhuru Movement anymore is because dealing with the finances and what I have learned about how the finances are being handled. It is people who are of European descent who are benefiting off of the resources that these Africans are accumulating, donations, whatever you want to call it, and the Africans who are putting in the actual work on the ground, who are taking these trips, who are organizing. Myself and Tony have been on several trips. We've been to Flint, Michigan. We've been to Washington, D.C. We've been to Chicago. I've been out to Oakland. We've been to to St. Petersburg. We've been all over, and all the time, mostly we've had to get the funds together ourselves. And you go to these different places and you see comrades who are living in dilapidating conditions.
Yes.
And there's still there's certain things that need to be fixed on their house or whatever the case may be. And like I said, we've traveled to different cities, so this is not just what we've seen in St. Louis or we're not speaking of hearsay. We saw this with our own eyes. And so I definitely know that we've had conversation before, because it brought up a question of, okay, I know I just sat at this plenary and we raised over 100-something thousand, but it's, we have certain people in leadership of African descent who are living in impoverished conditions.
Yes.
And who aren't getting any help. And then you have people, they say money is the root to all evil. And I was just very hurt to find out that what I really believed in and what I've stood in solidarity with for some years now, and what we Carry on the Ball Foundation, along with the organization, I guess you would say, like, they stood in solidarity with us,
through Black is Black.
Through Black is Black Coalition.
Yes.
But, you're dealing with people who, we're real people,
Right.
Kerry was really killed by the pigs.
Right.
He's not here anymore, and that's something that his mother deals with every single day, and all the people that love him. Right. And for people to play on that, or to people to see Tony Taylor in a vulnerable situation because her firstborn was just murdered by the police, I feel like they play on that. Yeah. And once again, that's my opinion.
And I found out later that I figured that they was using me to gather all the mothers to that Washington, D.C. trip. And I did it. And I got pictures and stuff, proof to show that that's what happened. But I felt that way when I got home. I just didn't voice it out on social media. I told it to my family. I was warning them. And I did start doing my own investigation. And I asked for help. And I found results. So I made a conscious decision to leave in 2016 and not bring them into my 2017. That was what I felt.
And also, I want you all to know that some of the information that we're getting is from different families that are in these cities where it's a Uhuru house, or a Uhuru furniture store, or a Uhuru food and pie, excuse me. These aren't just people that, these are people who seek us out and who are letting us know because they see the work that we're putting in and a lot of other comrades. I also know that it's people who, I don't know if they're still comrades or not, who have reached out to me, won't speak their names, but they have voiced the same grievance, the same frustration that they're living in dilapidating communities, or not communities, but conditions, and they're not getting any financial help, but they've been asked to quit their jobs and put in all this work. But you have the Uhuru Solidarity, some of the people in the top ranking, they're buying houses in St. Louis.
Yes.
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis.
Over $100,000 houses.
Yes.
So something is not right, and something needs to be done. And it was also, if you've watched the video of Ghazi, who I stand in solidarity with, he pointed out in his video, part 3, that if you notice the pattern of how they've moved to different cities.
Yes.
So long story short, I encourage everyone to watch that video, but they say that, you know, St. Louis will be next.
Right.
So we need to understand that we will not be taken advantage of. Our pain will not be abused, because I feel like that's where they see that they can come in at when Africans are vulnerable.
Yes.
We already suffer from post-traumatic distress daily. We deal with living check to check, you know, all the things that come with living in impoverished conditions, because that's how we live compared to the white counterparts. So I just need people to understand that this is as sincere as we can be. This is just to get this information out. Now, if you choose to continue to stand in solidarity with the Uhuru Movement, that's your choice.
Right, exactly.
And to all my comrades who are still in solidarity with the Uhuru Movement and with the African People's Socialist Party, who I have relationships with as far as communicating or worked with alongside you, you know what I'm saying? I salute you. I just ask the ancestors and higher power that, you know, you wake up, and I just hope that you be safe. There is no hate. It's anything, it's disappointment and hurt. Because
I didn't want any of that in my life. I'm sorry,
go ahead.
into that. I'm glad that I walked away when I did, because I didn't take that chance on all of that, because I rode in the car with Chairman in Washington, D.C. And it just was something that didn't sit well with me. And I just kept telling my family, I kept telling Sarah, and I needed to do my own investigation. And I did it. And what I found out, I didn't like. So I walked away. I disassociated myself with them. Point blank, point simple.
Mm-hmm. And then I also want to bring up, me personally, my niece has spoken at an Impedum convention when she was, I think, 6 or 7 months pregnant with her child. And she spoke about on horizontal violence. My niece, Keela Everhart, was killed in 2016 on the PX lot. She was murdered, and Kelsey spoke on that. So I feel a personal anger, I guess you would say, or disappointment towards the chairman and deputy chair, Ona Yesatella, just on the strength that I brought my family around you guys. My great nieces and nephews have been in several of the pictures, and I'm teaching them, you know, the same thing that you guys are teaching me.
Right.
And which, let me say this, the political education is very on point.
Yes,
I'm not attacking the political education at all. And we still revolutionaries.
Right, that's right.
You know,
right,
don't get that
right.
twisted.
Get that
We're
twisted.
speaking about the finances and how the money is being handled solely. And also how we have felt and certain things that we have seen. And we've stood in solidarity for a while, and we felt that we need to go live, and, well, I can't tag anyone anyways, but we just need to let people know what was going on here on the ground in St. Louis. If anyone wants to reach out to me, you can through my inbox if you have any questions.
I just want to say, excuse me, Sarah.
Go ahead.
I donated $500. What year was that in Chicago? Was that 16?
2000.
In 2016, I donated $500. $250 to Black is Back Coalition and $250 to Impedum. But when me, Sarah, and Columbi was struggling and needed some help, they told me I couldn't get no help, and I had to pay a membership to stay in them programs if I want to still be a part of that organization. But they could reach out and help us have somewhere to stay, but they didn't. They told us they was going to get a apartment building and house 4 women. It was 3 of us. Basically, it really was 4 of us suffering. They lied. That apartment building never did happen, but they got a big old Uhuru house over here now, and then bought all that property. And they buying up more property here in St. Louis. Y'all better stay woke here and watch out and see what's going on.
So, yeah, we're solely speaking, as she was saying, about finances, and it's a lot of the groundwork, or I would say 95% of the groundwork. I'll say 90% of the groundwork is done by the poor working African class.
Yes.
You know, it's done by by Ghazi. You know, Ghazi has put in so much work on the ground in meetings. When I was a part of Agitprop, we were in meetings for so long, and I understand that we have to collectively organize, but it's a lot of behind the scene work that you all do not see that goes in. And I'm not saying that we have to live rich, but we have to be at least living.
Help us.
And living
we doing the work. We helping, like we participating, like help us back.
And help definitely the leadership people who are really putting in, who have quit their jobs, have completely given 115% to the African People's Socialist Party and the Uhuru Movement. They should be living in decent conditions.
Yes.
At least, they should have flushing toilets. That's sanitary.
Yes.
So I just feel like that they're, you guys are doing us how the colonizer has been doing us for 400 plus years. And that's not right. So this is why we're speaking out. Once again, we don't stand in solidarity anymore with the Uhuru Movement. We are, speaking with Ghazi now. It's wonderful, and we stand in solidarity with what he's doing down there in Atlanta, and everyone else that's building with that. We're about elevating in 2019 and beyond, and definitely putting out our own narrative of the truth and letting all of St. Louis know what's going on.
Right.
And that's about it, unless you have anything else you wanted to say.
No, I just say keep y'all eyes open here in St. Louis.
Definitely. And once again, I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Share this. And this will be, this is it. We're not going to keep going back and forth or speaking about it.
Right.
We said what we had to say, and we're on to other things.
Right.
Revolution is still the only solution.
I'm 3 years gone.
Yeah. So, they always told us, and it's funny, one thing, and I'll end this with this. They always told us in all the different meetings and stuff that if you want to know the heart of an organization, track the money. So we tracked the money, and the money went back to the colonizer who's in control. Colonizer, I mean white people. Colonizer, I mean them crackers. Yeah, I said it. And there's something wrong with that. So, until, Africans are in charge of the finances, until Africans' needs of being in dilapidating communities and living under these horrible conditions, and we're putting in the work, until those needs are met, you guys are doing the same thing that the oppressor is doing.
Yes.
And you're fooling your own people, and that's the messed up thing. And like Malcolm X said, I will not lead my people into a burning building. And this house is burning. And it's sad. It really is. So, once again, thanks for tuning in. And y'all have a good rest of your day. And Black Power.